Get your coffee, get your tea, come on and sit down with me. Let's have a quick conversation with Seanathon JoiClaire. This is my drink for today's quick topic, and this is so good. It kind of tastes like, I was finna say carbonated water. That's the first ingredient. That's what it tastes like, but with fruit juices mixed in it. It's very light. It's good. It's good. But today's conversation is going to be about believing in yourself when you're at the wit's end of believing and you just don't see it happening, and you're just like, how can I continuously believe? I was feeling like that. And I was scrolling through social media, and this girl was talking about Psalms 23. And she was just reading the Psalms or whatever, but it was hitting me differently. And I was breaking it down as she was reading it. I think I'm going to do a full podcast on it, but not for this quick conversation though. But Psalms 23 is my favorite Psalms in the world. As you can tell, the Lord is my shepherd. What? I shall not want. But as she was reading it, my first thought was this: the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. When you think about a shepherd and sheep, a shepherd makes sure his sheep is protected. They're eating, they're resting. And when it's time for them to get up and go through the journey, even when they're going through tough spots, that they have the endurance to keep going, because why? He will lead them beside the still water and allow them to rest. And I was thinking about how I went through a tough time in life and God allowed me to rest. But yet I still questioned how I believed in myself and how I believed in myself for many, many years. And I feel like my manifestation wasn't coming into fruition, and was it something that I was missing? And I was like, everybody has that moment that they break through. I was like, when is my breakthrough? And I continuously was thinking about Psalms 23 and how she was breaking it down. Hold up. I got this little Bible. Let me go to it real quick. This thing's so tiny. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, that comfort me. And I thought about how the journey almost took me out completely. But yet, God comfort me. But I'm still asking myself, how can I continuously believe? And God said, if I comfort you in your journey, and I am the shepherd and you are the sheep, what do you have to worry about if I'm taking care of everything? And I thought to myself, if God is the shepherd, why do I feel like the spirit, or why do I feel like I'm being moved in certain situations? And God say a shepherd always has a herd dog. And I'm not calling angels and spirit dogs or nothing like that, but the herd dog understand it needs to alert the shepherd in order to protect its sheep. Or sometimes the herd dog will do everything it can in order to protect the sheep, because it know the shepherd is busy with the flock. Or sometimes the dog will move the sheep in order to understand what it needs to do in order to protect and in order to move that sheep to the rest of the flock. I was like, God, I don't get it. Like, I trust you. I believe in myself, but I'm starting to not believe. God said, are you working on your dream? And I was like, I am. And I am. And God said, well, why do you believe it won't come to fruition? I was like, because I can feel my soul is tired. I feel my body is weary, like I'm not understanding. He was like, but you are resting next to the still waters. Be patient. You know, patience is a virtue that not everybody have. But over the years, I must admit that I have been having patience. And then another part that really stuck out to me was, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And I thought about this. When you're resting next to the still waters, God is not only creating the cup for you to hold the overflow, but he is understanding that the enemy, the predator, is watching the prey as it rests. I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, God, but what does this have to do with belief? Everything. And it's crazy that I tied all these back to Psalms 23. As she was reading it, I was just tearing it down. Like, I was just like, oh no, this. I saw it completely different. It was like I took myself into the journey and into Psalms 23. I always knew that it had a huge impact on me, of course. But I never thought about it like that. Maybe the past version of me understood what the future version of me can now sit and talk about, you know? And it also made me think about this. The last part, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. If you understand the journey that you are on, eventually the shepherd has to take his flock and his sheep to the pasture for it to be able to live in a secure environment. And it makes me think about this. When God gives you a dream or a vision in life, he is creating an appetite in you that only he can sustain. And if you try to do it on your own will, you will starve, because you're looking for the body to fulfill the soul in only a way that God can. And once you understand that, you'll understand why he is preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Because he understands the appetite that you have gained and worked up on the journey that you was on will be an appetite that he will have to fuel, that he will have to increase how much you eat and what you eat and what is on your plate and who is sitting at the tables in order to enjoy the feast that he has created for you. Prime example. If a person not doing anything, they like, oh, I can eat one time a day. But if a sharecropper work all day, when they come home, they want a feast. They want a large, hearty meal because of everything they've done during that day, and understanding that they are going to need that food in order to work the next day, in order to fuel themselves. So when you understand the journey that you went on in life and how much it took for you to believe in yourself and what you was doing in order to enjoy the feast, you will understand why it took so much to believe. thought that was so interesting. But I still have the question in my mind of how much longer do I have to believe before I run out of belief? And that's when God said that it's time for the feast. He said you can't keep working. And it's just like you cannot keep working and working and working without stopping to eat and understanding where is home and understanding the rest next to the still waters was taking you to the pastures. I think that is so interesting. So interesting because I don't know, it means a lot to me on this journey right now. And keeping up my belief and prime example, I'm going to say this. When a sharecropper or when somebody is working and they telling all their friends and buddies, oh, I can't wait to get home, give me some ham hocks with some butter beans, ooh, and some collard greens and cornbread. Oh, that sounds so good right now. Jesus. And they talking about all the food that they are going to eat. They are believing that it will be on the table by the time they get home, that the food will be done by the time they get home. So they can just sit down and eat. It's not about you preparing the meal in your belief, but it's understanding that the work that you have done, that you deserve it, that you have worked for it, so you can never question why you are eating. Because if the enemy question why you're sitting there eating, calling you lazy or calling you dumb or whatever the case, whatever negative thing they decide to say, the thing is, you know the work that you put in order to be sitting at the table and to get a plate. Don't let nobody tell you your dreams. Let me look at y'all. Don't let nobody tell you your dreams, your goals, your ambitions. Anything that you are doing in this life is stupid, is dumb. Just know that you are worthy. Just know that your table and your plate is coming. Just keep working. Because when the bell rang and your blessing come, you sit down and enjoy it. And whoever decides to question it, no, they're not sitting at the table. But what are they? The enemy watching you eat. Why? Because God made a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Why? Because he understands that he protects his sheep and his flock. Because the angels are out watching, making sure that no danger is coming near while you are eating. I'm going to try to think about that. That is a perspective to shift your reality and something to really be thought about. And I'm sorry I had to stare at y'all like that. But I hope y'all got what I was saying. This is just a quick conversation. Quick conversation with me today about Psalms 23. So y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my latest podcast. And my Substacks. I've been writing Substacks. I've been getting on it. So, there you go.